Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we're diving into the world of family offices, informed by the work of Doug Gray, who's a business psychologist. He specializes in family businesses and,
Mhm.
succession planning. And his work really highlights the importance of understanding the people involved in these families.
Yeah, for sure. Family offices have always been known for managing money like investments and taxes and the legal side of things. But Doug's work, I think, really points to a shift, recognizing that like money and family are like intertwined.
Right, like it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people, too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that brings us to this idea of a family capital model. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's really interesting. It's moving away from just looking at finances to a more well-rounded view of a family's legacy. And instead of just focusing on dollars and cents, it looks at like five key areas.
hmm
Oh, wow. Five key areas. Okay, so what are those?
So we've got health and well-being, and then there's family governance, how they make decisions together, succession planning and education for the next generation. Then there's the whole family dynamics part,
Right.
relationships, and then last but not least, risk management. And I'm talking both financial and relational risk.
I see. So it's not just about growing their wealth, but also about making sure the family itself is thriving, like a whole ecosystem.
You got it. And that's where these multidisciplinary teams come in. Family offices are realizing that to handle all of this, they need more than just the typical financial and legal folks.
Okay, so instead of just having a financial expert crunching numbers and a lawyer making sure everything's legal, we're now seeing people like psychologists and therapists, even educators being brought in. Yeah, you got it. It's like putting together a team of specialists, right? You've got your financial advisors who are there to maximize the assets. Then you've got attorneys and insurance advisors making sure those assets are protected and risks are minimized. And then you've got these experts in human dynamics, the psychologists, the family therapists to navigate those tricky conversations and relationships.
Now, you mentioned Doug Gray earlier, and it's interesting to see his work popping up in this multidisciplinary approach.
Wow.
I read that he partnered with a multifamily office to make videos about succession planning for their clients.
That's a great example, yeah. Doug's all about helping families navigate the feelings and psychology behind passing on wealth. And those videos he's created, they go beyond the legal and financial stuff and really dive into the human side of things.
Yeah, it shows how important it is to have someone there who can guide those tough conversations and help families make choices that align with their values and goals. It's not just about signing papers, it's about understanding and agreement.
For sure. And that's just one example. The article mentioned others too, like Charmaine Tang and her work on tech solutions for family offices. It all points to bringing together the best minds to meet these increasingly complex needs.
So we're seeing this blend of different fields, finance, law, psychology, technology, all working together for a more holistic approach to managing wealth. But why this shift? Why aren't the traditional advisors enough anymore?
I think it's the next generation, the ones inheriting the wealth. They're different. They're digital natives and they're used to things being transparent and they want to be involved in the decisions. They want to know the why behind the investments, like what are the family values and what's the long-term plan? It's not just about getting a pile of money. It's about inheriting something they can be proud of.
So it's a generation that wants to be more active with their wealth. They want to shape its purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where these multidisciplinary teams are so important. Those traditional advisors, they might be great at managing investments or setting up trusts, but they might not be so good at navigating all the emotions and family dynamics. Or having those important conversations about values and goals. You need someone who can handle that stuff, like a psychologist or a family therapist or a communication specialist.
It sounds like we're moving from just transactions to more of a focus on relationships.
Yeah,
It's not just about the assets. It's about managing relationships and expectations.
you got it. And the article had this great example of a typical family office meeting. You've got the older generation maybe thinking about retirement and who's going to take over, but they might not be so ready to let go of control. And then you've got the next generation eager to learn and contribute, but maybe a little intimidated or unsure how to speak up.
Yeah, that's a recipe for tension and misunderstandings if it's not handled carefully.
Huh.
So that's where this multidisciplinary team comes in.
Exactly. They're like facilitators or mediators, making sure everyone feels heard and respected. They can help bridge that communication gap between generations, explain all the financial jargon, and help the family come up with a shared vision for the future. It's about creating a safe and productive space for these conversations.
Yeah, the article mentioned Doug Gray facilitating meetings with a family with 3 from the older generation and 5 from the next generation and their wealth advisors. Having someone like Doug there, with his expertise in understanding the psychology, probably made a big difference in how it all turned out.
Absolutely. It's not just about managing money, it's about managing expectations, communication, and emotions. And that's where a multidisciplinary team shines. They can handle all those layers. And the article also talked about the importance of timing when you're putting together this dream team.
Timing. So it's not just who you bring in, but when.
Yeah, exactly. Different stages in a family's journey call for different kinds of expertise. Like maybe there's a big life event like selling a business, or someone inherits a lot of money. That's when you might need legal and financial experts to make sure the transition is smooth. But as the next generation gets more involved, the focus might shift to education, leadership development, even philanthropy. And that needs a whole different set of skills and perspectives.
So it's about being proactive,
Yeah,
anticipating those turning points and bringing in the right people at the right time.
precisely. And that brings us to the other key element, expertise. The different backgrounds of the team members really add to the decision-making process. Like, you might have a financial advisor who's great at analyzing market trends, but then a psychologist might be better at understanding how the family feels about risk or how attached they are to certain assets.
I see. So you need a team with diverse expertise to get a well-rounded perspective.
Exactly. You got to recognize that complex situations need multifaceted solutions. And this applies even outside of family offices. Whether you're running a business, planning your own finances, or making a big life decision, seeking out different perspectives can help you make better choices.
It's realizing that we don't know everything and being open to getting advice from people who can fill in the gaps. But we can't talk about the future without mentioning technology. Family offices are operating in a digital world now. AI, virtual platforms, data analytics, it's all changing the way they work.
You're right, and some people might worry that technology is going to make human advisors obsolete. But I think it's actually the opposite. Technology can make things more efficient and give us valuable insights, but it can't replace the human element.
It's like having a set of really powerful tools, but you still need someone who knows how to use them.
That's a great analogy. We still need human judgment to make sense of the data, to understand complex situations, and to navigate all the nuances of human interaction. And that's especially important when you're dealing with something as personal as family wealth.
So technology can automate tasks and provide data, but you still need human advisors for context, empathy, and wisdom to guide families to make meaningful decisions.
You said it. There was this line in the article that really resonated with me. Curiosity and humility can never be replaced by AI.
So true. Those are qualities that make us human. They drive us to learn, connect with each other, and approach challenges with a willingness to learn and adapt.
And as we look to the future of family offices, I think it's important to remember that technology is a tool, not a replacement for people.
It's finding that balance between the efficiency and data that technology provides and the irreplaceable value of human connection, wisdom, and judgment.
And speaking of the future, family offices are going to play an even bigger role in the global economy because trillions of dollars are going to be passed down to the next generation in the next 10 years.
It's almost impossible to grasp. Over 80 trillion US dollars changing hands. That's a massive amount of wealth and responsibility being passed on.
It is, and that's why succession planning and leadership development are at the top of the list for family offices now. It's not just about making sure the wealth is transferred smoothly, but about equipping the next generation with the skills and the mindset they need to manage it responsibly and effectively.
So it's not just giving them the money, it's giving them the knowledge, the values, and the leadership skills to really succeed.
That's it. And that's where Doug Gray's work with next-gen peer groups comes in.
Now, you mentioned these peer groups earlier. Can you tell us a bit more about what they are and how they address this need for leadership development?
Sure. Next-gen peer groups are basically structured programs that bring together young inheritors from different families. It gives them a chance to connect, learn, and grow together. It's a safe space to talk about their experiences, the challenges they face, and learn from experts and mentors.
So it's building a community of support and learning where the next generation can develop those leadership skills. And they're doing it together with others who are going through the same thing.
Exactly. It's about fostering that sense of shared purpose, encouraging collaboration, and giving them the tools and resources they need to become effective stewards of their family's legacy.
It's an investment in the future, leaders, not just the money. But with all this talk about the future, I'm curious, what are some of the ways family offices are using technology to improve their operations and get ready for this massive transfer of wealth? Are there any cool new tools or platforms that you're excited about?
Oh, there are so many. It's hard to choose. But one that's really changing things is AI. Those AI platforms that help with investments and risk. They can analyze tons of data, find patterns, and even like suggest investments based on a family's goals and how much risk they're comfortable with.
So instead of having people, analysts poring over all that data, these AI platforms can make it faster and give more data-driven advice.
Exactly. And it's not just about the numbers either. Some of them even use behavioral finance ideas to understand how emotions and biases can affect investment decisions so families can make more rational choices.
Wow, that's pretty cool. It's like having a digital advisor that understands not just the market, but also the psychology behind investing.
Right. And then you've got those virtual platforms that are changing how families communicate and work together. They offer these secure ways to share documents, have meetings, even like educational sessions for family members, no matter where they are in the world.
So it's like breaking down those geographical barriers,
Yeah.
creating a more connected family, especially important now that families are more global and spread out.
Absolutely. And they're getting more and more advanced all the time. They've got things like real-time polls, interactive dashboards, even like game-like learning to make financial education more engaging and easier for the next generation to understand.
It's like bringing the family office into the 21st century, making it more interactive and tailored to each family.
Exactly. And I think that's the big takeaway here. Technology isn't just about automating things or replacing us. It's about giving us better tools and information so we can make smarter decisions, build better relationships, and create a legacy that really means something.
So it sounds like what we've learned is that the future of wealth management is more than just money. It's about people, relationships, values, and that human connection made even stronger with technology.
You nailed it. It's about finding that balance between human wisdom and all the innovation of tech, empowering families to navigate the complexities of wealth and build a future that aligns with what they believe in.
And for our listeners out there who maybe aren't part of a family office, but are thinking about their own finances, what can they take away from this conversation?
Oh, absolutely. The things we've been talking about today, they apply to anyone who wants to make smart financial decisions and build a secure future. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a professional, or just trying to manage your own money better, seeking out different opinions, always learning and using technology to your advantage can make a real difference.
So build a team of people you trust, be proactive about planning for the future, and remember that success isn't just about having a lot of money, but about making sure your finances reflect your values and what you want to achieve.
And don't underestimate those connections you make. Having good relationships with mentors, advisors, and peers can give you incredible support and guidance as you figure out life and finances.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. But before we go, we want to leave you with something to think about. In a world where technology is advancing so quickly, how can we balance the power of AI with the things that make us human? Things like connection, wisdom, and judgment when it comes to our financial journey and building a legacy that matters. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep seeking out those different perspectives, keep learning, and never stop exploring the possibilities.